everyone, it's Russ Littau here again at the Healing Center. Our website is www.healingcenter.ca, and that's center spelled CENTER.ca. I wanted to share with you a trick or a tip, if you will, that I use, and I want to qualify this in saying that this is sort of a, I guess if you want to call it crisis management, so maybe a bit extreme, but this is a technique I use that and I'll share the conditions that I would use it in, but I guess I would say I use it sparingly. It's effective, but I wouldn't use it every time, and I'll maybe just explain. So when I first remembered using this was I used to long distance run, and I wasn't very, it wasn't really long distances, wasn't really fast, but I was a long distance runner. And let's say I'm doing a 10K run, and I'm out there, and it's usually, I don't know, at 8K or something like that, and my body's getting tired, my legs are getting tired, and the voices in my head, like I say with a lot of our students, the good news is you're not crazy. The voices in your head are real. Right? And and my legs are getting tired, and the voices in my head are saying, oh geez, this is so hard, and my legs are aching, and I got so far to go, and I'll never make it, and those flavorings, right? And so what I would do is, first of all, initially I would do my best to not focus on them, but sometimes they're just right there and in your face, and your body's, in this case, your legs are screaming, and this kind of stuff. And so what I would do is I would agree with them. I'd say, what, you're right, it is too long, it is too hard, it is too far, but while I was agreeing with them, I kept running. Okay, so and I guess, like I said, it's I don't sit at that table too much, with those voices that say you can't do it. But while I was agreeing with them, I was still running. And so the longer I agreed with them, the closer I got to my goal, which is kind of the outcome of this trick. And, before you know it, as you're agreeing with the voices, you would look up and go, oh, wait a minute, I've only got 1K to run. And then I would still agree with the voices, or maybe the voices would be gone now. But while I was agreeing with them, I was still taking the steps to get me towards my goal. And so I guess that, for me, that's kind of the purpose of this. So again, I use it sparingly, but when I'm taking some steps, or a step, towards a goal or desire, and it's usually when it feels a bit difficult for whatever reason, and then, like I say, the voices go, oh boy, why are you doing this? It's never going to work. It's too hard. It's whatever. And if I can just simply focus on where I want to go, and not allow them to take too big a spot at the table in my internal conversations, then I do it. But there are those times where, boy, they're right in your face. So then what I do is, and again, short-term fix, but a very effective one, is I would agree with it. You're right. It is too difficult. It is too hard. What was I thinking? But while I'm doing that, I keep taking the steps. Okay, so that's the important piece of this. I'm pretending, if you will, to agree with them. It's almost like I'm tricking them, right? So I'm distracting them, saying, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree. You're right. But while I've distracted you, I'm still taking the steps towards my dream, the steps towards my goal. And then the cool thing about that is, if you argue with them and argue with them, or agree with them and agree with them, but you still take the steps, you look around and you go, oh, I've taken the step, I'm closer to my goal. And then it's really interesting how so often those voices, they just kind of go poof, because it didn't work. It's like they were trying to trick you, often with the best of intentions, which is a topic for another conversation, but often with the best of intentions, trying to trick you into not taking the step. And that's kind of what the purpose is. So by using this technique, it's like I said, it's like I'm sort of tricking them, and I'm agreeing with them, saying, yeah, you're right, it's too difficult. But while I do that, I'm taking the step. Okay, does that make sense? Right? I'm taking the step. And so it's like I've distracted them while I sneak around the backside and take the step, and then I look around and, whoa, I'm now one step closer. Instead of 8K out of the 10K I was looking to run, I'm now 9K out of the 10K. And it's really interesting how I found invariably, when you look around, you've taken the steps, one of the voices just disappear, because it's like the plot, and this makes it sound like they're the enemy, and they're not. Well, it can seem that way sometimes. Their plan didn't work, right? Because you pulled an end run around them. Okay, so that's my tip. And like I said, I don't use it all the time, but in those particular cases, I find it's a really effective one. So, you know, if the voice is in your head, especially when you take those steps or going, you know, why are you doing this? What are you thinking? There may be, and this is a trick, well, I can't even talk anymore, a technique or a trick that you can use is agree with them, but take this step anyway. You don't say, you're right, it is too difficult, it is too hard, it will never happen, but while you're doing that, keep taking the steps. All right? Excellent. As I said, my name is Russ Littau, founder of the Healing Center and Convergence Reiki. Our website is www.healingcenter.ca. Center is spelled CENTER.ca. We'll see you next time.